Y'all, I have a story for you. A story. So back in November, I introduced y'all to Sid. Sid was married to Jonathan, who she was with for 6 years. And during the time that she was giving birth to her child is when things started unraveling, when she found out that he was actually having an affair. She reached out to me with her story and wanted me to report on it. And I did a couple of videos on her. And not too long ago, like last week, someone said, what's going on with Sid? So I actually sent her a text message and I'm like, what is going on? Because we started talking about Sid and sharing her story in November. She started going to court to try to finalize her divorce in December. So, what is going on? Let's check in. So, I sent her a text message. I said, someone from my page was asking about you. How are y'all? And when I say y'all, I mean her and her daughter. She's like, hey girl, we're okay, taking it one ghetto day at a time. She says, I filed something with the Child Support Enforcement Agency since everybody else was playing with me. So the child support has finally kicked in. A small win, I guess. And keep in mind, her daughter is 2, and they've basically been broken up for a while, and he has not been paying child support. She says, I've also been having my mom do the meet up and drop offs. So that's helped with my mental and not having to see him. So then I was like, that's good. Is the divorce process completely over with yet? Because the last time I had talked to her was it might have been actually back in January. So I was wondering what was going on. I know that he was just filing random things against her, keeping her in court for some strange reason. She says, I wish. Last month, we were supposed to have the trial for the motion he filed trying to vacate the child support amount. She says, but girl, the date came and went and nothing was ever listed on the court website. Seems someone forgot to input the date. And my lawyer, this new black guy, doesn't see anything either. So in my mind, is over. She says, ain't nothing else to discuss, but it's not in real life. She says, I'm not sure what the next step is though. It's like the case has disappeared or at like a halt or something. So what I like about Sid is that she is very open. She is on her page talking about, the different feelings that she's going through as she processes the fact that her relationship has gone downhill, or I'm sorry, is completely over. She had made these plans. She was doing things how society said was the right way, and things did still fall apart. So if you're on my TikTok page, if you want to go over there and watch a few of her videos, I will link them in the caption. Now, I know that I do have a few new people on my pages, so I will put parts 1 and 2 on here. I know that, so you don't have to go back and try to find all of the parts on my pages. Relationships are messy. And I really like that so many of us are talking things out through the process so that you don't just break up and then just automatically get over it once you get to the other side. These women are being vulnerable and sharing their stories and the things that they're going through, and they're becoming like our cousins. And we see these, we know that women go through things, we process things as well. So maybe them sharing their story or us sharing all of our stories will help the next woman heal and have some hope that things get better on the other side. All right, y'all, let me know what you think.
You know what? I was robbed. And it's only in my continued healing journey that I'm able to process it and actually put more words behind what happened and how I feel. Sometimes when you're experiencing traumatic situations, your mind has a way of suppressing it to help you survive, like survival mode. And I realized in my tumultuous marriage to a narcissist, that's what happened. I was robbed of a happy, healthy marriage filled with love and security. Instead, my husband slept with his mom's best friend. I was robbed of my first birth experience. I will never get another first birthing experience. That will forever be ingrained in my mind and in my heart. But instead of it just simply being a joyous OMG moment of welcoming my baby girls to the world, a part of me naturally thinks about how my husband went through my phone while I was in labor. Like, that moment will always be kind of tainted. And for that reason alone, I'm robbed. In that moment, I was robbed of the support, affection, love, and every other emotion that is supposed to be surrounding, welcoming, and giving birth to a human healthily. I was robbed of an opportunity to break generational curses. One, being a single mom. I was robbed of my daughter being able to see her dad love her mom. I was robbed of being able to give my daughter a 2-parent household that we planned. I was robbed of that opportunity in that family life. I was robbed of the opportunity to reach my peak as a wife, if that makes sense. I was robbed of the opportunity to see what kind of wife I would be in 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. Instead, I'm divorced, a single mom, and really can never imagine myself being married again or having more kids. It's like those experiences that are so monumental and huge, I'm tainted by them. That's the thing about trauma sometimes. You could be having an amazing day, life is going good, and then randomly, bam, those emotions just hit you like a ton of bricks to the point where you feel like this just happened yesterday. And that right there, you're robbing my mental space. And I realized in therapy that two feelings can coexist. Meaning I can be overdue because meaning I can be healed, moved on in a relationship, not thinking about buddy, but yet I can still have random moments of just like, dang, that was really messed up. Like, I can't believe he would do me like this. Or I can't believe that this happened to me. And I have to realize that that's okay. That doesn't make you less healed. That actually makes you human. So this is just overall a friendly reminder to give yourself grace. Now that I'm officially dating after my divorce, there are a few things that I am not doing. If you've seen my story, you saw that my husband was having affairs with his mom's best friend. You also saw that I caught him in our home having an affair with an older woman that had 4 kids. You also know that I was a new mom at the time when I found out. My daughter is only 2. Long story short, I've been through some pretty traumatic things. And one thing that I am not doing now that I'm dating officially again is wearing that trauma on my sleeve. I'm more than my trauma. I'm more than a divorced woman. I'm more than my husband having these crazy affairs. I do not plan on leading with my trauma. You will never know what happened to me unless you just happen to know. When I meet guys and they hit me with the, oh, what happened? Guess what I say? It just didn't work out. And y'all, it took me a lot to get there, okay? When I tell you I want to bust out and tell you why it didn't work out. A, B, C, D, E. But why? For what? It just didn't work out. Sips drink. You gonna eat that? How's your food? I'm not going to give another man the rule book and how to play in my face by telling them everything that this other guy did to me, how long I stuck it out, what he did, how we tried to fix it and work through it. Not doing it. Another thing that I've been saying when guys ask me, oh, what happened? I simply say, I have boundaries and he didn't respect my boundaries. And I don't really play about myself. Where's the lie? Another thing that I'm not doing on these dates and when I'm meeting guys is talking about my baby. 1, is some weirdos out here in the world. 2, I am a woman when I'm out on a date, okay? I am sexy, I am fierce, I am fun. I'm a good time when I'm on a date, okay? I'm not a mom in that moment. You're not dating or looking to date the mom version of me. On top of that, I may not ever see you again. So I really doubt that this conversation, it may not even go further than this date. So why would I tell you all my business about my daughter? People are weird out here. And it's not a secret. It's just not your business. On a need-to-know basis. Another thing I'm not doing is answering the question of, so what are you looking for? My response, I'll know it when I see it. I'm not going to give you the rule book to be exactly what you know I want and need just for you to keep that mask on until it later on slips, because that's not genuinely who you are. Be who you are, and if our values align, then we'll go from there. Another thing I'm not doing is answering the question, what do you bring to the table? A man that asks me, what do I bring to the table, is not the man for me. I bring my lip gloss and my Louis to the table. That's what I bring. If you're approaching me, for the most part, you see my table, okay? You see my curtains, you see my dishware, you see how it's plated. I'm not going to lay all that out for you. Another thing I'm not doing is wearing the scarlet letter D, aka divorce, on my chest. I'm not ashamed of anything that I went through. You can't hurt me. My divorce is not something to be ashamed of. My divorce, for me, I look at it as a fresh start. It's a testament of my strength, my values, my perseverance. I do not feel like my value as a woman went down or plummeted since being divorced. I actually feel like the stock and the price just went up, actually.
If you are new to my page, here are parts 1 and 2 so you can catch up with what happened with Sid and her marriage. Y'all, I have a story for you. A story. So, this is the story of Sid and John. Sid and John. I had to go get my pearls. I got some water. I suggest you go and get some refreshing beverages or a snack or something because this is going to be a good one. It's probably going to require a couple of parts. Sid reached out to me on my Instagram page. She says, Sis, my sister has sent me a lot of your videos. It seems like a lot of what I've been going through in my marriage has been happening to other women as well. I keep receipts, baby. LOL. I'm just starting to speak on it now that I'm finally speaking on it with receipts. His family is threatening me and wanting to fight. They even tried to delete it, but it was too late. If you ever want to speak on on this topic, I have receipts for days. And there's backlash. She's getting backlash because she started to go public talking about this relationship. Okay, so these two were together for 6 years and they were married for 2, but she unfortunately had to file for divorce. She posted this on her TikTok page. We got engaged, planned to get married, planned to buy a house, planned to get pregnant. I never imagined a divorce. She thought that she was doing things the right way. Then, y'all, she finds out he's cheating, and she finds out while she is giving birth to their daughter. Okay, so like I said, get some water. She says, okay, let's get into it. His name is Jonathan Sims. He's the founder of Boys to King Mentorship. This is the reason why you got to really vet who you are sending your child off to get mentored by. He mentors he mentors men and youth. However, does the complete opposite of what he preaches publicly. A year ago to the day, I saw and heard him on home surveillance security having a very explicit affair. I confronted him and filed for divorce on Monday. This happened on Friday. I'll be dropping proof as we go on so you don't get lost. Okay, so in her proof, she had a video of him in her home talking to this woman in her home. She has it on camera. And yes, there are a lot of messages between the two of us. So here's Jonathan. And like she said, he has a very public profile. And probably why she's sending it to me because she already knows that he's about to come at her. Another picture of John. One of his events that he has, the men's outlet. You know, men can get together, chit chat, talk about some stuff, mentor. Oh, my Lord, my word, my word. Okay, for the story. My daughter was born on December 25th, 2021. Crazy, right? I was in active labor. I gave him my phone to call my mom, and his entire demeanor changed as I saw him scrolling my phone. I asked him what was going on. He said nothing. He ruined my birthing experience. In the corner, texting, sulking, and being weird. Why was he in my phone? After we got released from the hospital, I was scrolling through my Facebook and I saw that I had blocked someone that I did not know. When I went to look, there were messages telling me about an affair with this woman. That this woman was having an affair with my husband and that she was trying to reach me on the 25th, but he simply blocked her. I'm sending you proof. So yes, she did send me. So this is Bernice Smith. This is who was sending her messages. I guess John blocked her and Vernice started sending messages from another account. And Vernice is his mama's best friend. He's sitting up here sleeping with his mama's best friend. They're in the Chicago area. The mama lives in Indiana. So Vernice is in Indiana. And so he'll say he's going to Indiana to see his mom. He's going to go hook up with Vernice. So this woman starts sending her messages from a private account. It's called Keisha in Indiana. She says, your husband cheating on you and I got proof. I effed him after the wedding. Now he wants to claim that y'all pregnant, all this other BS. He said you went through his messages and you was cool with it. What's going on? Which I know he's lying. He blocked me from Facebook. Your husband be on BS. And so Keisha from Indiana sent a screenshot of what she and Jonathan Sims, you can see it right here, what Jonathan was saying to her. So let's get into it. And so this is 2020. Remember, their child was born December 25th, 2020. So this woman is very, very pregnant. So she's like, hey. And he's like, hey, lady. She's like, hi, what's up? How are you? Good morning. I'd be doing better if I see you. When can I see you? He's like, you tell me. She's like, when you ready. Okay, so here they're just trying to come up with the time. So that's what's going on here. But you see the timestamp still November 2020. So Jonathan's saying, I'm coming over for Thanksgiving. She's like, together. And he's like, I'll be by myself, probably going to come that Friday. She's like, okay, you want me to be ready? Okay, this is funny right here. Jonathan says, depending on what you send me, I'll come. She says, I don't pay for D. Okay, I guess I'll be moving on. I guess you don't want to do that. And he's like, I'm talking about my birthday gift, not paying for no D. She said, I'd rather give a gift of any kind in hand. He says, okay, cool. What time? So you see, they're getting ready. They're getting ready. So, like Sid was saying, she finds this out because she starts going through her phone after she noticed that her husband was being a little weird during labor. So then she finds all these messages from this blocked number. Okay, so Vernice started inboxing Sid in June 2021. And so then she confronts her man, she confronts her husband. She said, during this time, he gaslit me and manipulated me, telling me that I was insecure, lying, that I knew about it, and that she was just a friend. In the meantime, I'm working, raising our then 9-month-old daughter with no financial help from him, working as a flight attendant while he used my flight benefits to fly back and forth to cheat, claiming they were guy trips. Houston was his favorite. During that time, he was never home. I was a single married mom, and my family and I furnished 95.7% of our home. Newly bought home. We bought it when I was 7 months pregnant. It's in his name, but we are married, and I put my half of the money down, trusting that he would do right by me. In the meantime, after that video, you heard and saw, I received videos that things from the past that he had been doing. Now, in that video, that was the one where he was actually had someone in their home. So she has videos that he had been doing these things the entire time. Videos of him walking in bars with other women while I'm at home breastfeeding our baby. A lot of the information that I found out has been going on the entire time. Keep in mind, I said they were together for 8 years, married for 2. So this has been happening for a while now, and she's just now getting to it. Oh, I'm sorry, she's just now finding it. So I asked, like, why is he doing this? You're pretty, you're fit, you're feminine, everything that they're saying that they want. And she said he never gave a reason. He always had a bucket list, and he wanted the benefits of marriage. He lacked the self-control, discipline, and self-respect to actually have one outside of posting pretty pictures. He also wanted a fit, pretty wife. He also wanted someone to help pay the bills to fund the lifestyle he portrayed on social media. Y'all, he out here nesting and resting and having the princess experience on her dime. She says, I'm a very active mom, literally. We're in swim classes all summer. He kept making comments on their FaceTime visit about how she's no longer light-skinned and how did he get a baby this color, which led me to believe that he simply wanted my genes. So he's also a colorist. I know this is a little out of order, but she says this is his mom's best friend, talking about Vernice. He would go over there and play cards. She lived in the building. This is nothing new, as he told me that growing up, his mom used to sleep with his underage teenage friends. The mom's friend made several fake pages in hopes that I would see this. Okay, so then she says, meanwhile, he still denies and denied it to my face while having his family cover for him. The same family who just today publicly threatened me for telling my story for the last few days. So she's out here posting this stuff on her TikTok pages. And yeah, now they are coming for her. That's the reason why she reached out to me. And there's more. but there's going to be a part two because she has a lot. So you guys go ahead. Like I said, you need a little beverage for this. Hopefully I kept things together. But if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comment section, and I'll try to clear up anything else in my part. Okay, let me get to part two of this John and Sid story. I have been a little under the weather, so I have my tea. Hopefully, you guys just go ahead and get some tea just because you need a beverage and snack for this part two. So, I do want to let y'all know that John has made his Instagram private since I dropped the first part of that video. Okay, so for a refresher, their daughter was born December 25th, 2021. During this time, she gave him her phone so that he could let her mom know that she was in active labor. This is when he started blocking people on from her Facebook page because the affair partner was sending her messages. So that's where we left off. Sid was reading your comments. She says, everyone wants to know when I found out about these women and red flags, why did I stay and not immediately leave? Number one, the red flags were very well hidden as he's always cared about his social media image, his brand, and being a good guy. All of this stuff coming out now was confirmed later after we were already married and pregnant. The same man that went through my phone while I was in labor to block people that were trying to send me proof of the affair is the man that I dealt with for all these years. I was manipulated. His mask has now slipped. This is just a few of the times that I was actually able to prove it. I don't know how many times he's done this before. For those people confused as to why my husband had my phone while I was in labor, my phone was never hidden and he had the passcode. Unlike him, who would jump out the shower to get his phone when I walked in the bathroom. It's interesting that the world expects you to simply go live in a shelter with your kids, newborn at the hint of an affair, while dealing with a liar who moves the goalposts whenever you present something that is found. I was gaslit, love bombed, and going through severe postpartum depression with no help from him, other than a quick IG post. While he was telling me one thing, he was telling other people another thing. I was also being anonymously texted by numerous fake numbers. I did not have a when my husband cheats on me divorce fund set to the side. I was forced to live in the disrespect in order to protect my child. As a mom, we know that the safety of our children comes first, and the court system is not like the movies, sadly. I made the decision to leave when my ducks were in a row, and I was going to risk having my baby, and I was not going to risk having my baby taken away from me and given to the very people who don't know her allergies, what size Pampers she's in, or what milk she drinks. So she mentions how his phone was always protected, how he's the type that would jump out the shower to grab his phone if she comes into the room. Well, one day she was passing by in the kitchen and his phone was sitting out and she happened to get into it. She opened it up and all of these messages from some woman named Drea popped up. Actually, there were more messages from other women, but she ran upstairs, got her phone, and started taking pictures of his phone and messages back and forth to Drea. So that's how she got Drea's phone number. So this is what Jonathan was saying to Drea. Drea, what I don't need from you right now is no damn attitude from you. I need support and understanding for another hour. Let me get it together. I just wanted to communicate the plan. And then she says, you allowing that stuff. And he's like, and you still going. And he's like, and you knew she wasn't allowing to ask out on New Year's. And he says, ain't shit all about allowing to do anything. She says, this too much for me, because now you messing up my New Year's. So remember, they had their baby December 25th, 2021. She's now finding out about him and this affair December 2022. So a year later, she's gotten proof. Another text message that she took a picture of. This is from Drea. I want you to cool off, babe. Do not let them F up your day. Get your stuff together for the night and just leave. I'm at home. You lucky that's your child mother, wife, because I would whoop her butt for you. Yes, she found this stuff on John's phone. I asked her, this is when I started asking her, how did you come across this information? And she left me a voice note, so I'm going to play it.
being gaslit. He didn't know who this girl was. All of this stuff. She didn't exist. It doesn't matter who it is. So, girl, I happened to walk downstairs to the kitchen and I saw his phone sitting on the counter unassisted. So I picked it up and I was like, oh, I bet the dang on passcode is not even the same. It was the same. As soon as I put the passcode in, the messages just popped up. So I had to run upstairs really quietly, get my phone to come downstairs so that I could record what I was looking at with my phone, because I knew that, the manipulator, the gaslighter, him would say that what I saw wasn't the truth. So I had to have actual truth. So I literally have like 2 minutes of me just going through his phone, recordings of all of that stuff between him and Drea. And others. It was so vile and nasty, girl. He was on there asking girls for reviews about the sex like he was an Amazon package. It's kind of weird.
Okay, so what made her go and open up his phone? She says, a year ago to the day, I saw and heard him on home surveillance security having a very explicit affair. I confronted him and filed for divorce on Monday. This happened on a Friday. And keep in mind, like I said, this was back last year, 2022. She filed for divorce in 2022. Here is some of the surveillance video. She was out of the house. She had left. They had a fight. She left. And he came back and he was having a phone conversation with his jump off. Here's the video. So y'all hear him talking to his jump off. At this point in time, Sid is done. But there were also other forms of abuse. She says, let's get to the physical abuse. Once he realized that I was constantly recording, he ripped the Ring doorbell camera off and was adamant to find others. Unreleased story, LOL. He would come in the house after a night out, kiss on our baby, and I would tell him not to because I didn't know where his mouth had been. Okay, so at that juncture, she's already checked out. But she said, let's talk about the different forms of abuse. She says, let's get to the physical abuse. Once he realized that I was constantly recording, he ripped the Ring door camera off and was adamant to find others. Unreleased story, LOL. He would come to the house after a night out, kiss on our baby, and I would tell him not to because I didn't know where his mouth has been. As I was walking by the room, I overheard a conversation with him stating that the night before he had a wild drug-infused threesome. I went to question him. Before I knew it, he has punched me in the face and has me in a chokehold on the ground. I was literally screaming. He's 6'3". I'm 5'3", 100 pounds. My mom ran into the room and tried to push him off me. He was punching me with closed fists. Shortly after, we ran to the room, to safety. Then he started trying to kick down the door. This is what the door looked like after he was trying to kick it down. After that, she says, I continued packing my things while I plotted and planned my escape. He also has a licensed loaded pew-pew that I kept seeing sitting around. He never put it up, which was scary because if he was physically abusive to me, I didn't want to end up on the ID channel. A few weeks after, he tried to take the baby out of the house with simply a pamper on. By the way, we live in Chicago. I told him he couldn't do that with her not wearing any clothes. When I reached for the baby, then he punched me with a closed fist. My mom told me to go to the ER because my jaw could barely move and I was slurring and in so much pain. They treated me and told me to go to the police station, so I did. That incident is coming back around as he now has a 5-year open DCSF case because the baby was present, which is why he's trying so hard to discredit me, but you can't argue with video proof. And it's not my word against his, it's his word against the proof of his actions. Speaking of DCFS, I moved out while he was out of town with his side piece. He has court ordered visitation. I've asked him to baby proof his home the way I require everybody else to do. Basically, he didn't baby proof, and then their baby ended up with a gash on her head. Like I said, Sid is out here recording everything. She's taking pictures of everything. She has video. She has text messages. She's dropping everything. You guys, this pretty much wraps up what she's been going through, unless she starts